Well, good morning. It's been a while. I think it's been 7 weeks or at least 6 weeks since the last time I posted anything, and I'll just say, don't think anybody's missed me. But at the same time, it's just been very busy. But we definitely have something today, and that is what happened yesterday with the announcement of what the tariffs will look like for products being imported to the United States. It's a lot broader reaching than I think a lot of people imagined. And as a result, the impact is still kind of trying to be figured out. I have tried in the article today to share some insights that I saw overnight. And I will say that it's starting to kind of be more visible, really, what the strategy is, or at least what I think the strategy is. That, along with what DOGE has been doing and some other things that are going on in the administration, what it's really about is trying to, at least what I think, and I can be wrong, and this is not an argument for or against it, I would say it makes sense when people have talked about the efforts to try to extend the 2017 tax package and potential that Congress will use the reconciliation approach to do that, so that they don't have to deal with potential Senate filibusters. You kind of start to see what they're trying to do, and in order to do that, they have to balance out the numbers. So it's a combination of spending cuts and revenue growth from things that they can increase revenue with. And if the initial estimates are correct about what these tariffs could potentially do from a revenue perspective in generating potentially $600 billion on an annual basis, that gives the administration a lot more room to work with things. There was talk in something I saw early this week, late last week, that one of the strategies they may have tried was to actually say, okay, we will do the full tax package, but what we are going to do is going to increase the top marginal rate, leave everything else the same. Don't know if that's still going to be necessary or not. Don't know if that's really something they're serious about even at all. But clearly they're trying to work in a pragmatic, albeit not how it's supposed to be, more pragmatic in what they can do, but not necessarily what they should do, to try to get the existing tax package extended, as well as anything else that they're looking at doing with the fiscal year 26 budget. And of course, I still expect there to be spending cuts in various programs recommended in fiscal year 26. So there's a lot going on. And obviously, now that we have an understanding of what the tariffs are, likely there will be challenges in court, and there'll be some other things that'll come along. We start to kind of see what it's going to be, so that we can start trying to prepare for it and adapt to it. Particularly for those of us working in government at the local level, figuring out how it's going to affect our cost. For businesses, trying to figure out how it's going to affect their cost. For households, trying to figure out how it's going to affect their cost. And so we'll start to potentially see the impact in the prices that we pay here in the near future. There obviously are a lot of people who continue to argue, based on how we look at economics from a fundamental perspective, that this is not a good approach. And I'm trying to think, what is the potential long-term benefit? And if it's about reshoring manufacturing and other industries back to the United States, if it can achieve that, great. I don't know if it will or not. What I could see is that one potential trade-off of the efforts to try to globalize our markets and try to facilitate freer trade in the last couple of generations is that it has not only potentially increased the competition of businesses, it's also increased the competition for those jobs. And that's led industrial policy into a direction where it has to offer greater incentives, because you're competing for production facilities, for other types of operations. You're competing for those jobs at a local level or even at a national level, and you have to offer incentives, i.e. even just straight cash, to bring those companies there. And I could see somebody saying, why should I be paying you when you should be paying me? And I think that's kind of the mentality of that's part of the mentality of the administration. And it's possible that it could lead to a situation, and there are benefits to this. There's also cost. There are benefits where it might help shift industrial policy away from governments in the United States having to deliver the same level of incentives that they're expected to right now. I don't know if that's going to happen or not. So I don't want to say that because, again, we're still trying to figure all this out. But it's a little more clear now, even if it's not to our liking or our preferences, or if we think it's not going to work. So there's a lot to kind of think through right now and process. Markets are processing it. I know businesses and households will be processing it, and just about everybody else will be here in the next couple of days and weeks. Hopefully, this will not initially lead to escalation in trade relations between the United States and many more countries. Hopefully, everybody can stay calm for the moment and try to figure out what the next steps need to be. But I'll go ahead and stop there. Everybody have a good day. Take care.